Hey everybody, welcome back to one of my videos about my digital cash envelopes and a weekly update for them. I've messed it up and I honestly don't know how, and I've been sitting here doing the math, calculating numbers, trying to figure it out, and I am at a loss. So I am going to show you the expenses that went out and what the numbers on paper are showing me, and I've like double and triple checked them, but feel free to do the math yourself if you think that I've done them wrong, because it's totally possible. Then I'm going to explain to you what the actual account says. So just really quick, in case you haven't heard me talk about my digital cash envelopes before, ignore the takeout, the work parking, and the striker column. These two don't get funded right now, so there are no calculations. Striker, his money is not kept with the rest of them. He's a whole separate thing. Don't worry about his column. He's my cat, by the way. So the rest of the columns, where I live, predominantly places of business want money to be done digitally, not with actual physical cash. And there's too many sort of like smaller places that I like to pop into to buy stuff, especially coming up to the time of year when you're buying presents for people, that will not take anything other than digital. So I moved all of my cash envelopes over to digital cash envelopes. And what I do is I calculate out my cash envelope money every payday, and then I transfer the money over to a prepaid MasterCard that I have with Wealthsimple. And then I just tap that. It's on my phone, so I tap it whenever I'm doing any expenses. I do have, I'm going to knock something over to get them. Oops, sorry. I have a lot of papers on to the side that you can't see. I do have actual tracking sheets. Because there's no cash, I can keep them all in one envelope together, and they just show sort of expenses as I'm going through to give me a running tally. It's the exact same as what you would have if you had an envelope with the cash in it that you keep track with as you're out and about doing the spending. I'm able to keep them all together in one, like I said, because there is no actual cash, so I don't need to worry about it getting mixed up. So digital cash envelopes, that is how I do them. And then I have this book here that I like to use. I fill it in once a week. I sit down, I fill in, like, there's deposit lines and then expenses as they come out, just into the different categories, usually with a little note, kind of messy, about maybe like the store I was at or whatnot, just to sort of have somewhere that I can look at a glance to get all of the data instead of going through the different tracking sheets in the envelope. I keep them both updated. I mean, having said that, the ones in the envelope right now are not updated because I'm trying to figure this out, and I just want to wait until I've figured it out before I start writing in those. So let's start with like up here-ish. So the last time I left you, I had put in, last payday, I had put in my deposit money for the cash envelopes for the different categories. I know I'm going to keep like running over strikers, but really just ignore him. It's just habit. And then I filled in, well, I gave it like the new balance for the different columns. So the grocery one was one row up, unfortunately. And then I just have expenses. So like Safeway also for there, I split it up in between the groceries household section and baking supplies, which kind of goes under miscellaneous or fun, and then the New Balance, and then Instacart, Dollar Store, Superstore. I had a physio appointment, and then here are my new balances. So groceries, I have $10.21 remaining. Miscellaneous, I went negative by $44.81. Fun, negative by $15.99. Physio, I'm in the positive. I still have $21.25. Transportation, $111.93. So math, oops, 1021 minus 44.81 minus 15.99 plus 21.25 plus 111.93, $82.59. Going by my calculations from what I spent, and I know that I haven't missed any because the perk of having everything be digitally spent is that my Wealthsimple app tracks every transaction. So I literally just scroll through the transactions for the prepaid MasterCard and see every single transaction that the card did. So $82.59 is what should be remaining on the card. I did my budget today for yesterday's paycheck, so this is before my putting in the deposit that correlates to that paycheck. So this is what should be remaining. I mean, it's bad, the negatives, clearly, but I already knew that I was going to be moving money around to cover things, so the remaining money from the groceries was going to go over, and then I was basically just going to pull a lot from transportation to cover the rest and balance it out, and then there we go. Because in my world, it's fine to move money from one category to another, just the same as if it was physical cash in an envelope, and if I wanted to move some of it from the miscellaneous to the groceries category so I could buy something extra when I was grocery shopping. To me, as long as there's enough money at the end of the day to pay for the things that I need to pay for, it's fine. So I would never borrow, say, all the money from the transportation section, because then how am I going to get gas when I need it? But if I need to borrow some of it to pay back a category or just to get it out of the negative and then rebalance it all later by paying back that category slowly over time from this column, I'm okay with it. It makes it a bit complicated, but that's what sticky notes are for. The problem is that I received a notification. I get notifications from the Wealthsimple app every now and then with no rhyme or reason for why I get them at the amounts that I get them for, because it's not consistent. But I got a notification saying that my balance on the card is $66.21. And I saw that and I was like, what happened there? Because I knew that I had overspent. I absolutely knew. And I knew I was going to be pulling from other categories to help make up for that, but not all the way down to $66.21 when I knew that I had over $100 in my transportation section. Now there is a $6.04 charge showing still as pending on the transaction list from Instacart. Instacart charges confuse me because they say I spend $50 on Instacart, then the transaction ends up getting split as like 2, and then they still never seem to really equal to the total that I thought that I was spending for my transaction, and then one of them sits as pending forever. Like, they're very confusing. I don't like Instacarting if I can get around it because it makes no sense to me. And I did earn 46 whopping whole pennies of interest, so I mean, little things like that I know can throw the numbers out of whack. But the difference between $66.21 and $82.59, that is a lot out. It's like, oh, well, now I did it wrong. And then I just deleted the whole thing. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so the 82.59, 16.38. So where is that $16.38? I have not been able to figure it out. There isn't a transaction that's not accounted for. I've gone over and over the math. The only thing that I can think of is it's something from before the deposit line, that there was something wrong with the calculations prior to that in the book that didn't correlate or match up to what was actually on the prepaid card, and I didn't know, and so then now everything after that is off. But even then, I mean, like, because I track it all digitally, they're all charted. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really confused, so incredibly confused about where that $16.38 came from. And so now I'm also confused about how I'm going to write things going forward, because clearly I can't just pretend like my numbers are correct and be like 1021 is going to move over to miscellaneous to help bring it out of the negative, and then I'm going to move X number over and bring it all up to balance, because then the math still isn't going to be matching the math of the actual prepaid card. And I did put money on it today because, like I said, it was payday. So I moved over, how much did I move over? $211.50 to the various categories. So now that money has gone over and is sitting on the card, giving me a new card balance of $277.71. But it's not real because, well, I guess that's real, but that number isn't going to match this number once I add in my deposit column, because these numbers don't match the previous balance of the $66.21. Like, does this make sense? I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but it's just because it's so confusing and I don't understand where the missing $16.38 went. What did I spend? From where? What category did I spend $16.38? And it's not tracked. I don't know. And I don't know, my brain is just freezing on this, and I don't know how to move forward, how to correct it. So I think I'm just gonna have to put a line that's sort of like math error and kind of put my deposit for the different categories so that I know for sure like how much is in each one based on the deposit, and then I know how much is sitting in the account prior to the deposit, the $66.21. So then I guess just distribute that to the different categories and kind of start fresh. It's the only thing I can think of to do. So that's what I'm going to do because I need to get this book updated. But this is the one problem, well, the one big problem that I have with keeping them digital is when something like this happens, because like the little amounts, like the interest earned or like a pending charge that hasn't fully processed yet, when I'm trying to like update the book, I can handle that. I can figure that out. I can work around it, like it's fine. But then something like this, where my math and the app's math are so completely off and I cannot figure it out, it makes me wish to go back to actual physical cash, to be honest, just because you can't mess it up like that. You have $20 or you don't have $20. Like, it's there in your hand. Whereas when it's on the app, things seem to magically just get messed up. And I am 100% aware that it's me, okay? Like, I'm not trying to act like there's some kind of math conspiracy out there, or like Wealthsimple is out to get me or stealing my money or something. I am 100% aware that it's me. I'm horrible at math. I'm trying my best. I get confused and then I go back over and I do the numbers multiple times, and I swear I'm not trying to mess it up, but I am. I absolutely am. So I don't know. I think I'm just going to put in a deposit line with the new amounts for the cash envelopes that I moved over today. And yeah, I think that $66.21, that was the remaining balance in there, I'm just going to distribute throughout some of the categories. And we'll just have to take it from there. Start brand new, I guess. Yeah. What is today? It's the 19th. Okay, so groceries got, oh, that's supposed to be a plus sign. Whatever, it's in green. We know what it means. Groceries got $120. Miscellaneous got $30. Fun got $30. Physio, oops, oh, that's wrong. Physio got $31.50. Transportation actually got nothing. I explained that in my budgeting video for this paycheck. Basically, I went and put gas in the car before I sat down to do the budget. So instead of moving the money over to the prepaid card and then paying it back, because I couldn't tap this card when I was paying for the gas, for whatever reason the pump wouldn't take it. The card works almost everywhere, but every now and then a place it won't tap properly. So I used my Visa card, and instead of moving the transportation money over to the prepaid credit card, I just paid it directly onto the Visa card to pay off the gas purchase. So for this time, transportation is not getting money, but normally it would get 40. So those are, if we ignore everything above, those are the balances for the card. And now I have $66.21 to put somewhere. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm going to put it all into transportation, to be honest, because that was the one that had the most money and clearly got drawn from the most to cover other things. I know I didn't have any expenses under transportation. I didn't get the car wash. I didn't get gas. There was nothing. There's no parking. Was there parking? No, there was no parking. So like no transportation charges went through. So that amount, if nothing else, the balance of the card should have still had $111.93, but it didn't. Stupid $66.21. So I will add $66.21 to give it a balance of 66.21. I don't know why I put the adding. Yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna run with it. I'm frustrated. I'm so sorry. I hate math. I mean, I don't. I just hate when I'm bad at it. But yeah, so digital cash envelope update, chaos in the land of me, which is nothing new with these things. Yeah, I think the only one that I consistently don't mess up is Strikers, which if anything, I would think his would be the one that I mess up the most, only because his has a combination of cash and digital, so you would think it would be more confusing and hard for me, and yet somehow he's fine. It's just everything else that gets messed up. So my balances for my different categories in my digital cash envelopes: groceries has 120, miscellaneous has 30, fun has 30, physio $31.50, transportation $66.21. And just gonna put math error new balances. There we go. That's the best I can think of for how to fix it. What do you bet in like a day I figure out where the mistake was and what was really going on and could have like actually fixed it? You know what, I say that, but no, I couldn't, because I'm not going to look at it again. I refuse to, on principle of I don't deserve to be driving myself crazy with this. Something went wrong. At least I've noticed and figured out that something went wrong and this is the fix for it, and I'm just going to take this and run with it. So digital cash envelope update. I bet this was not at all what you were expecting it to be. Thank you very much for sitting through my ranting about math and about how much I have messed this up. I very much appreciate it. In all honesty, if you are looking at this and you're like, dude, I totally see what you did wrong, please tell me. Please, because I have been driving myself nuts trying to figure it out and trying all different sorts of calculations, which is hilarious because I don't math very well, so my calculations probably mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. But I tried to figure it out. At least I'm lucky enough that I have money to be able to fund the cash envelopes for the upcoming pay period. So I'm able to just put money in and kind of start them from fresh again. I mean, it does suck that like all that money I had built up in transportation column is just sort of magically poofed into thin air. But that is just the world I live in, apparently. So yeah. I'm gonna make a cup of tea. I'm gonna potentially eat some chocolate to try to make myself feel a little bit better, because that is what math drives me to, is chocolate. And I will talk to you all in another video. So stay safe out there. I hope everything is going really great for you, and however you track your variable spending, oh, I hope it goes better for you than for me, because nobody should have to be sitting through this on a weekly basis trying to figure this out. Best of luck to all of you. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.